I remember times when I was younger, my dad was never around, and you know, my mom worked all the time. And there'd be shit that would happen at the house, like the neighbor, we had this neighbor who lived behind us, this punk, who knew it was a single mom with 2 kids. And this guy used to like fuck with us all the time. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. One time, my mom had let the dog out in the backyard and he was barking. This guy came up and pulled up in our driveway and was laying on his horn, right? And we had like these diamond-shaped glass on our door. And I remember those. I was like, what's going on? I went to look out and his face was right in the thing screaming, shut your dog up. And he's going crazy, right? And I just remember being so scared, right? I was like 12 years old or something. I remember being so scared and going, oh my God, if my dad was here, this would happen or whatever. When everything changed, I was 15 years old. I was sitting at the kitchen table and I heard somebody screaming. My mom was out back cleaning the pool and I heard somebody screaming and it just clicked that day. That was I don't know if it's like the day you become a man or whatever, but I knew that guy was screaming at my mother. I fucking ran out back and jumped up on the wall, and I was 15, and I said, you fat motherfucker, I'm not 12 anymore. You stick your fat face over this wall again, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And
the savage was born.
You wanna know what the saddest part is? He walked in his house away from a 15-year-old kid, and we never heard from that guy again. My mother was a nurse, and we lived back east in Massachusetts, and at the time they were paying nurses more in Las Vegas than anywhere else in the country. So she packed up the car and the kids and the dog, and we all moved out here. I was like 10 years old. This is like 78 or 79, and that's how I ended up in Vegas. And I stayed here until I was 16, then I went back east again, kicked around, and ended up at the Boston Harbor Hotel. I was a bellman there. But I was 19, I was standing in that lobby, and I was just like, man, I hate this job, and this isn't me. This isn't where I belong. I started representing some of the UFC guys. Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz were 2 of my guys. And I got into a huge contract battle with the old owner, Bob Meyerowitz, over Tito's contract. And then finally he flipped out and said, you know what? There is no more fucking money. I don't even know if I have enough money to put on another event, and, you know, screaming at me. And I hung up the phone and I was like, damn, all right. So I called the brothers, they were in Miami, the Fertittas, and I said, the UFC's in trouble.
Wow.
I think we could buy it, and I think we should. So I connected Lorenzo with Bob Meyerowitz, they started talking, and months later, we owned the company for $2 million. All we bought were those 3 letters, which the trademark really wasn't even that strong at the time, old wooden octagon, and 10 or 12 contracts. That's all we owned, right? So all the rights, the DVD rights, which ended up being massive, the video game rights, and all the old library was owned by Lionsgate. We had to go back and negotiate those rights from Lionsgate.